had never heard of the story until I actually got the script for at the time it was called Cristiada. It's now called For Greater Glory. But I hadn't heard about this war, this revolutionary war that took place in 1926 in Mexico, from 26 to 29. That was essentially a revolutionary war initiated by President Calles. Well, it wasn't initiated by him. President Calles was the president at the time, had instituted these very strict guidelines about, about the priests and what kind of power they would exert, and the Catholic Church revolted. I play a Mayor Picasso of the small town who I come across this. I'm actually godfather of this young boy who is at the heart of the film, Jose del Rio, and he's a kid I put to work at the church because he's a bit of a loose cannon, and later on he actually gets sort of sucked into the movement, the Catholic movement against the repressive regime of Calles, and ends up joining and taking arms with the movement, and I'm sort of caught between both worlds of being a mayor and sort of respecting the law and also trying to save my nephew, my godson, when he's actually captured. My character had to, at the beginning, sort of, be a paternalistic figure to this godson of mine who's misbehaving, throwing eggs at a priest. Later on, I put him in touch with a priest and trying to, make him a better Catholic. Lo and behold, the kid ends up joining the movement. And then later on, I have to sort of come to his rescue. But I'm also, like you said, I'm caught between these two worlds, whether or not I exert my power as a mayor or any influence I might have in saving his life, and also at the same time save my own skin, because I'm, so it's a tricky thing, and it was a tricky thing to play, so that I didn't venture into the path of just being the evil, godfather that I ultimately, I think, was anyway. History certainly has told us that you can't repress, freedom. In this particular case, it's freedom of religion. You can only do it so far until people revolt. I mean, it's sort of a human nature to fight for your freedom. And so it's interesting to see the number of people, men, women, children, who take up arms, against the government, a very powerful government, against the army, and form a sort of a ragtag army initially, and later on, grow in numbers to become this enormous, massive movement under a general whom they hire, played by Andy Garcia, General Gorostieta, who ends up making it his mission, who becomes converted in a sense I think he's agnostic, to become a full-fledged believer, and leading this movement. So it's amazing to see how that takes hold. Filmed in 5 different parts of Mexico, which was incredible. I mean, it was a very ambitious project. It's an epic movie. I mean, it spans those 3 years, but it covers so much ground. And it was amazing. Just, I used to live in Mexico as a kid, so it was great to go back to Distrito Federal, DF, which is the capital city, and then also into all of these incredible, beautiful small towns to get to shoot there. It was pretty magical.